Welcome back to Megadimension Neptunia Victory 2 Rebirth. God, that's still fucking... I think I'm just going to either start calling it Neptunia VIIR or Nep 4 from now on, just because it's a hell of a mouthful to say Megadimension Neptunia Victory 2 Rebirth every fucking time. Anyway, when you jump down from the building, there's a teleporter to your side that'll put you into the building that was right above where we started that has an item in it. There's a lot of little things like that. They throw teleporters around for like no real explainable reason, they just kind of do. It's just part of the level design as we explore the first actual level of the game per se. It does like the game's not open world in any sense, but we will have a more open map to explore, to choose what dungeons and locations to visit later on. Just for now, it's very linear of how it's going to go. We're going to finish this level, have cutscenes, come back here, do some stuff, and then go to the next dungeon kind of thing. But it does give you some time here to get used to exploring and destroying stuff. As I mentioned last part, there is a lot of things in this game that you can tell what's breakable and what isn't, but you want to make a habit of breaking everything regardless, because they have a chance of dropping materials, and materials are used for crafting and specific purchases later on. Because yes, there is a crafting system in this game. It's not the most elaborate, but it does what it needs to. And also, I made a mistake. They're not called hit attacks. They're called enchant attacks. They changed their names in this game. Because originally it was rush, power, and break. I don't know where hit came from. I just started calling them hit attacks. So yeah, there's that. There was that. I only noticed when I was watching this back, because when I'm commentating, I only have a small window to look back on, like when I'm doing my post commentary, so I can't read everything that pops up. I'll give it my best. Nep is dead, so that is a point of this game. If you get bodied, you will get bloody bodied. And you thought, like, we're still in the first dungeon in the game, like third or fourth fight we've encountered, and Nepgear just got absolutely bodied because everyone decided to attack her and she died. Thankfully, the game does start you with some life fragments to revive people. It only revives you by like a quarter, but it's there because I guess they were aware that, yeah, this game, if you're not ready for it, will catch you off guard. It's by no means hard, however, it just has its moments. Like, if you take the piss, the game will body you. Like I say, it's balanced, I think is the easiest way to put it. So for this dungeon and maybe the next one, I'll probably show off all, if not, like most if not all encounters, just because these dungeons aren't long. When the dungeons start getting a lot longer, I'll only be showing the first encounter of each enemy, and I'll be skipping the rest. Especially when we go to the optional dungeons much later on, because I will be exploring as many of them as we go. I won't be actively hunting them down because there's so goddamn many. Like, we'll be here for the rest of the time for stuff that at the end of the day is not that interesting. There's a couple standout dungeons that if I don't get in the main journey, I will go out of my way to get. Mostly being the Neplunker dungeons, because there are splunking dungeons in this game. I want to show off both of them if I can, and I want to show off this great maze of a dungeon that you can unlock near the end, which isn't worth it in any sense of the word to explore, but exists, and so I want to show it. To unlock new skills in this game, it works a bit different. Once you reach the level threshold, you have to spend your game's currency, your credits, to do it. Your credits are a lot more universal in this. They're required for literally everything, kind of like red orbs in Devil May Cry. It's the JRPG equivalent. You use them for your items, but you also use them to get new skills. So you need to find a balance of when to spend them on items and when to spend them on skills. Obviously, once you've reached the level requirement for them. And try not to worry about it too much early game, because there are some opportunities that will arise late game. That way you can earn a bucket ton of money very easily, especially when the Colosseum is introduced, because the Colosseum is a mainstay thing in the series, where, as the name kind of implies, you can just fight infinite battles, and they're usually very good for grinding those credits that you might need. However, there are some standout skills for each character that you will want to get before specific points, because it will make certain fights a hell of a lot more manageable if you can get them. What's also worth mentioning is what attacks are available to you in this game is no longer chosen by the player on the fly, which is something I actually hope they bring back if they ever do a 5th game, because I prefer it over what they have in this game. In this game, it's dependent by your weapon. Your weapon will tell you, because your weapon will have these little gems attached to them, and those gems will tell you what attacks will be available to them. Like for Nep, she has 2 green gems on her starting weapon, so she can only do 2 rush attacks. Nepgear has 2 red gems, so she can only do enchants. In the older Nep games, you click start combat, and then it would come up with X, square, triangle, circle. X would do your I want to say X was the guard break, square was power, and triangle was the rush. And you decided on the fly for the next 3 attacks, and then did your finisher if you had one. And I kind of preferred that on the fly decision making of like you might hit them with 1 power and then 2 guard breaks, or like a guard break, a rush, and then power sort of thing, or just flat out power kind of thing. Like you made that decision, whilst in this that decision's taken from you because you have to compensate for weapon. Late game you can kind of get around it because you'll have so many weapons to your disposal, you will just work through the occasion. But because you can't swap weapons on the weapons like in combat, that layer of complexity is still missing, and I do miss it. I prefer that system when they had it in the first 3 games, and this one just gets rid of it. The other thing it gets rid of is, well, finishers. In like previous Nep games, you had a 3rd meter. Well, in the first 2 games you had a 3rd meter. In the 3rd game they combined them into 2, but I'll get into that in a minute. We had a 3rd meter, and that 3rd meter slowly built up as you fought on, and it was like a 3rd special bar. I can't remember what it was called off the top of my head. It was just for like your ultimate attacks kind of thing, and that built up with hit count, which is why rush attacks were so important, because it would build up that meter, and when the meter was a quarter full you'd get 1 point. When it was half full, 2 points, so on and so forth to 4 points max. If you had at least 1 point, you could do a finisher at the end of your combo and it would cost you nothing. You just had to have that much. There are certain finishers that were more powerful that would cost you to have more of a point value, but because the point value carried over between fights, you could decide to use it. Or you could use your ultimate attacks instead, and your ultimate attacks, which we'll get into more in this game later on, were really fucking broken. And in the first game they made it so you could use your ultimate if you had a little as 1 point. In the second game onwards they made it so you needed at least 2 points to kind of balance them out. In the 3rd game they literally crammed the 2 together, like the special points and your ultimate points, which is why, and they carried that over into the 4th game as well, as you can tell. In the 3rd game, your every time you started a fight, your special points started at a quarter of what they were. You started at what was the equivalent of 1 ultimate point, so you still had access to your finisher, but if you started actually using your great ultimates at the end, it would cost you on that side of it, kind of thing. And then in this game they completely got rid of that 3rd bar even existing, and now it's just your health and your special points. And I kind of miss that extra layer that the first 3 games had. Like, I felt the 3rd game had a nice balance of how they combined it, whilst this one just completely null and voids it. But we got a cutscene, so I'm gonna shut up.
Ugh, these pricks are still crawling out of the woodwork.
We're about halfway through evacuation. I'd advise you start heading back now.
What the hell? Are you freaking kidding me? Half? We need to get them all out of here. Besides, if I leave these bastards alone, they're just gonna be on our tails all night. This is gonna end right here!
Dear me. Just don't overdo it.
Yeah, I got it. I'm the only one who can fight anyway.
Hey-ya! We found our first citizen! Hey there!
People?
I could have sworn there were a lot more monsters before we got here. Did she defeat them all by herself? Man, I'm just glad we finally ran into someone. Hey, lady, could you tell us where we...
Oh, reinforcements now of all times?
Come again?
Ugh!
Whoa! Chill out, lady. I'm just trying to...
You're not half bad. The name's Uzume Tenobushi. What's yours?
Neptune! It's Neptune!
Nep... Your name's frickin' hard to pronounce.
I get that a lot.
You're a lot stronger than you look. You're like the perfect prelude to it.
Dang it! Just listen to me! We're already super tired from getting sucked into that crazy vortex, and I'm just trying to get back!
Sorry, but I'm not the type to get all cozy with the enemy. If you think you can fool me by pretending to be human, you've got another thing coming.
We're not enemies! Just listen to me! Seriously, like, I know I'm #1 on Game Industry's Hot 100 chart for nicest people ever, but I'm about to get super pissed off!
Game it? Ugh! What the hell are you even talking about? Eat this!
Chest Buster! Stop!
Huh?
Please stop, you two! Your name was Uzume, yes? Like my sister said, we have no intentions of fighting with you. In fact, I'd be really happy if you could help us. So, can you just listen to us for a minute? We aren't going to attack you, I promise. Yeah, what's your problem? Just help us, jeez. Neptune, this is your fault too. Why are you picking fights with strangers? My bad. I was getting a little too hyped.
Ugh, there are still a few stragglers. All right, whoever you girls are, this is gonna have to wait until I clean this up.
Yeah, let's mop this spit up. I wanted us to stop fighting.
It's too late for that. Here we go.
I'll always love the robot noises in this series. Every fucking game, they just get some random guy in the office to go like that. It's so dumb. But we got a new team member, Uzume, who's new to this game, new to this series even, because she's from this dimension and we haven't been here before.
My name is Uzume Tenobushi, and you're all already dead.
And there's your Fist of the North Star reference. I'm not kidding, that was what that was intending to be. If you listen to that line in Japanese, she says that line. Like, this series is filled to the brim with either video game or anime references. Also, Uzume has power as her first attack, so her first attack is raw damage dealing and nothing else. Also, we get to listen to Voltage, an amazing boss theme, which we're not going to hear for long because this is just 3 basic enemies in a row, so it's going to end in like 2 tweets, so I'm going to have to shut up again. Uzume does have a skill you'll want to teach her though, because she's going to hang around, called Heal. You're not going to find out why until literally right at the end of the game, but you need her to have Heal before that point, trust me. Oh, and a new cutscene.
Dungeon cleared or whatever. I'm finished over here too.
Is it really over? I guess I'll thank you two for now, but just be honest with me. You're not its underlings, are you?
Uzume, I'm not sure what it is, but like I said before, we aren't here to fight. We're just looking for help.
There are really humans that survived? I can't believe it!
How many times do I have to nepping tell you? We aren't the bad guys.
No, I know. I didn't mean it like that. It's just, I can't remember the last time I've seen people, let alone fight alongside them. It was wrong of me to attack you the way I did. Please, forgive me.
It's okay. I'm just so glad you believe us. Oh, it's all good, Uzume. I know how it goes. I'm just relieved to know there are other people roaming around these parts.
Well, I'm actually the only other person here. That aside, if you're not its underlings, who the hell are you girls? You seem pretty strong, but...
We're... how do you say... lost. We suddenly found ourselves in this city. We were looking around to see if there was anyone else, and we finally found you.
Lost? You mean there are others who failed to escape and are surviving in other cities?
Failed to escape? From what? Surviving? Hey! I thought we cleared the dungeon! What the heck is it now?
Finally. It's arrived.
What is that huge thing? Is the last boss already appearing? We didn't get blown to the end of the game or something, did we?
I don't know who or what that thing is either, but it's the one responsible for turning this city and the entire world into a wasteland.
Is this the one behind all these weird cracks and rifts we've been seeing everywhere?
Right, and it doesn't just destroy cities, it destroys the earth and sky as well.
You're going to try and fight that?
That's exactly right. I've been fighting with it for a long time.
Something that giant is just too much. Please, Neptune, tell her to back down. Alrighty. Now I'm getting all fired up, too. Huh? Our opponent's bigger than a skyscraper? That's perfect. In fact, bring it on. Neptune! Nep Jr., I'm the pro tag. There's no way I'll lose.
I appreciate the gesture, Neptune, but this fight is mine and mine alone.
It's useless to try and stop me. I staunchly refuse to listen to people all the time. I do what I want, and I want to help. Please be reasonable, you two. If you think about it sensibly, there's no way you could win against something that gigantic.
Sorry to interject, but as a CPU, it's my sworn duty to deliver justice upon the one responsible for ruining this city.
Huh? Hang on a sec. Did you just say you're a CPU?
Oh yeah, I guess I hadn't mentioned that yet. Well, that doesn't really matter right now. This place is about to become a battlefield. If you're not prepared to get your hands dirty, then run. Far away.
Uzume, let's get out of here together. I'm sure we can devise a strategy to defeat it that doesn't involve battling it head-on, so...
No can do. A pack of monsters like the ones we just fought are advancing along with that giant. I gotta stop him here, no matter what. I need to create a window for the others to escape.
That giant thing looks terrible enough, but a pack of monsters too? Also, what others? Well then, with courage like that, I'm even more pumped to help you out, Uzume. Let's get ready to rumble!
You girls aren't ready for a fight like this, and you're just gonna hold me back. Like I said, just hurry up and get out of here already.
I don't wanna.
Run away!
No. If I ran away now, who's gonna be here to help you? I'm not leaving you here to die. We're doing this together. Besides, even if we really can't hold our own, we can at least buy you some more time. Neptune. Okay, you're right. Neptune, if you're going to fight, then I will too.
Ugh, what freaking ever! You two are so dense. Fine then. Listen, if we're gonna be fighting this thing together, then know this. We fight to win.
Yeah! Then, at the very least, why don't we find a place where we can heal your wounds? From the looks of things, that giant won't head here immediately. We have some time. It's better to challenge it when we're at our best.
You're not wrong. My base is close by, so let's head there.
I'm glad they decided not to fight that then and there. In the original demo of Victory 2, apparently they made you fight that thing there deliberately to try and scare the players into thinking this game was going to be a lot harder. Yeah, this game's still tough if you're not ready for it, but can you imagine if you had to fight that fucker right then and there? Christ. Anyway, what that tutorial was mentioning was partner skills, which would make you think that it wants you to have someone in the partner slot, but the next few fights in a row, like when we eventually get to them, won't allow you to. They want Nepgear in the front of the party as well. But, like, I say that because Nepgear is literally the only one who ever gets sidelined. But no, they want everyone in the front row. There is a back row, as you can see there. If you have someone in the back row right behind someone, they essentially buddy up, and there's certain skills you can do alongside them. And you'll notice as we're fighting, a rank will go up with like a heart symbol. That's a Lily rank, or like a friendship rank. As the higher that friendship rank goes, the more stuff you can do between people. Anyway, now we're into lesser cutscenes, so I'm gonna have to voice the characters. So let's try that one. Ooh, using a dingy old building like this as your secret base is so freaking cool. Yeah, and you have everything you need here. A safe place to sleep, food, recovery items, and even a communications terminal. It's just like a rebel hideout from an anime. What? You guys actually understand how wicked cool this base is? Duh. Yes, of course. Okay, I see now. If you two get how cool this place is, then it can't be all that bad. Now, we don't have much time, so I'll bring you guys a quick rundown of our enemy. Like I said before, the giant thing's the main culprit behind the destruction you've seen. But its size isn't the only thing you should be worried about. The monsters also hold the power to erase life forms out of their existence. It's the reason why all the humans who lived in this nation are no longer here with us. What? They're all just gone? I see, so that's why our share energy was... I don't want to believe it. How does it even make sense? Did they really disappear because of that big giant thing? It's hard to say. I don't know much about everything that's happened myself. After the humans left, that's so weird to say, lots of intelligent creatures moved into the area. They're very kind, and some of them even talk. So our objective in this current mission is to buy enough time for them all to safely evacuate the city. Oh, so those are the others you were talking about before. I have a question though. Aren't any of the monsters fit to be your allies? Unfortunately, we're the only ones who can fight. Yikes, it's amazing you've been able to fight by yourself all this time. Yeah, I'm amazed I'm still kicking. We're always being chased by that thing. It feels like all we know how to do anymore is run for our lives. I'm terrified when I wake up to the sounds of its footsteps shaking the ground. What's worse is we're running out of places to escape to. Uzume, do you think there's any way to defeat this giant for good and lay this all to rest? That's right, we can just destroy it. You won't have to keep running anymore. This would all go away if we just do that, right? Hey, come on, don't you think I've tried? I've scuffed with that thing so many times and never even come close to injuring it. No way! Don't make that face, even if it's impossible now. I've been coming up with a plan to defeat it. It's just not ready yet. Alright, so we don't have a lot of time before... Oh, and our phone goes off. Oh no, I've got to try and do this voice. Oh no. Yeah, it's me. What's the status on the evacuation? Uzume, I'm relieved to hear your voice. We're roughly 70% complete with evacuation. Still a lot left, huh? I apologize. We are moving as fast as we can. Don't sweat it. Just make sure everyone gets out of there safely. Understood. Be careful out there, Uzume. Hey, who's that? He sounds handsome. Is he a friend? Yeah, he is. We caught him on a good day, though. He can get a little cranky sometimes. We'd better get going soon, though. Make sure you don't leave anything behind. We won't be coming back here. Next time on Nep, we'll go fight that monster. See yous.